we're back.
All right, it's 7:35. I'm calling the planning board meeting to order. In the meantime, we've got a nice crowd. Thank everybody for showing up. All right, so the item is item C, the A&R plan for Depot Road Charlton LLC, property located at Noble Street, Old Mason Road. You guys want to hear the presentation again, or do you guys just want to get into talking about the documents that were received? What's the board's will?
I see we go into the documents we received.
Okay.
So last time we met, we asked for a little bit of time so we can go to town council and get their feedback, which we did. We received all kinds of paperwork from them, of course. One of the items that's sticking out the most to me are the general conditions from the Pierpont Estates Definitive Plan Conventional Residential Subdivision in Dudley, Mass. The conditions of approval dated November 1st, 2006. In these, general condition item number 3, I'll read it verbatim. No lots in this subdivision shall be further divided except in accordance with the subdivision control law via a definitive subdivision plan modification or approval not required plan in accordance with Town of Dudley subdivision rules and regulations. However, the maximum number of lots shall not exceed 54. My understanding is that if we subdivide this land here, we would have 55 lots. Is that correct?
55.
55. So I don't know how the board feels. My opinion on this is that since we're not in conformance with the general conditions of the approval from 2006, that we cannot include this or cannot accept this as an A&R plan. We'd have to ask you guys to come back with the subdivision modification plan.
Okay.
Does the board have any comments, or is it in agreement, or?
I am in agreement with the chair.
It's clearly defined by
Yeah,
council.
right. Again, as the chair has stated, this was agreed to by all parties involved, as I understand it, in 2006. And what has changed here to amend that agreement is not obvious to me at this point.
Unfortunately, I wasn't on the board then, so I don't even know why that stipulation was put in here, but it is there.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you why, Tony's, we weren't the engineer of record on
Okay.
that.
Yeah, matter of fact, original was 62 lots. But because my engineer made some mistakes over there. And we have to move from open space subdivision to a convention subdivision. So I lost 8 lots because there was not, the way they designed their thing, it was not enough room in some of the lots to build a house, septic system, and the well.
Okay.
Some woman catch that on the meeting and brought that up. And my engineer was convinced, not them, was convinced that everything was okay, but it wasn't.
But it wasn't.
He called me the next day and said, no, she was right. Okay, so I lost about a year and a half.
Try to maximize?
First we tried town sewer,
Oh, okay.
all right? I couldn't work with the sewer department. They wanted me to sewer Pierpont Road by gravity. So I probably
Okay.
$3 million. All right, I couldn't do that. And then we thought about, what do you call it, station, like,
Pump station?
well, there was pumping station, but we tried with do a septic system for the Wall subdivision.
Okay.
What do you call that? It's
It'd be like a common septic or a
right. There's a name.
Treatment plant, they call it, don't they?
treatment plant. You'd end up with that size development, you'd end up with a wastewater treatment plant or a packaged treatment plant.
Treatment plant.
Yeah.
Treatment plant. And of course, there was about 50, I mean, I don't know, probably 500,000 signs on Pierpont Road that a treatment plant is going to come. I thought people, they might thought it was like a nuclear thing, you know. So everybody opposed that. and the percolation is good. So we gave that up. And the last option is, the third option was losing 8 lots and move from an open space to a conventional subdivision, which only end up with the 54 lots at the time.
All right. So that's probably the reason why they put the cap on the 54, just to
Probably,
make sure that we had enough room to separate the septic from the
Yep.
wells. Okay.
Condition that being discussed in the conservation meeting, condition number 5 over here,
Yep.
conveying land to the town, open space and so forth. You want to take a look at condition number 5?
Yeah, I've got it right here. So, I mean.
You have that too?
Yeah. Just read it real quick for the record here. Condition number 5 was, and I'll read it verbatim again. The area encompassing Old Mason Road shown on the approved plans as open space and Lot 1 are to be conveyed to the Town of Dudley Conservation Commission as open space upon the completion of the roadways. So I know I just heard a little bit of what was going on in the Conservation Commission. I'm not sure how much that would be in our jurisdiction here, is more in either with the Conservation Commission or possibly the Town of Selectmen. I mean, in my opinion, any kind of agreement made with the board is made with the town is also basically the responsibility of the Board of Selectmen. So if this was going to be changed in some way or shape or form, I just think that we'd have to go to the Board of Selectmen and have their opinion on that. I mean,
So now you're at 53 lots. You're losing lot 1, right?
I don't have the plan in front of me.
Yeah.
I was under the impression that there were 54 lots.
If you look at the plan, the cover sheet, you know, yeah, that's say 54. Count them out.
And as I read it, that condition number 5 doesn't really define what that area is. So 100
Right,
square
it's-
feet, 1,000 square.
It's not defined well in the
Right.
division plans themselves.
So I know that some of the members of the Board of Selectmen have been on the board for quite some time. I'm hoping there's going to be some recollection, some kind of minutes of this that they can kind of track down.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, is condition number 5 still in effect? Do we know whether it is or not? I mean, it reads, again, as you stated, that there's to be open space there and to be conveyed to the town of Dudley. Was that ever done? Was it ever attempted?
When, we have an email that was sent, my husband has it here for you to read. You have the same email? That's the same one, yeah.
I mean, this document is dated November 1st, 2006. I mean, we're 13 years past that. What, if anything, was done to amend or change condition number 5?
I'm not aware of anything that was done.
Nor am I. I'm just asking if anybody, if any of the parties involved, and that would be you two gentlemen specifically, I assume, would have any information regarding that? Because if, my assumption, Mr. Chairman, would be that if nothing has changed, then it is still in effect.
That's my assumption as well.
Unless you have something that you can present, maybe you have to resort to council or somewhere along the
Yeah, we'll
way
have to
to
resort
do
to
some
council on
research.
that one. I can't answer that question.
Okay, well, perhaps an answer is to be found then.
Well, look into that. If doesn't work, you just build one house. We just build one.
You go
We
back
applied
to the
for one.
54 then, that is
That's
originally
54.
planned?
That is lot number 1.
Was there one house shown in this lot already done?
No, that's wetlands.
Originally,
It's at the town of Dudley.
was promised to.
Promissory, like he stated in the other room, yes, it was a promissory.
Let me
Now
step,
things have changed.
let me explain this. Where they now are showing 2 houses off of what they're calling Old Mason Road. There were no houses there. So that was never part of the equation, never part of the number. There was never to be built anything along that pathway.
So if I may then, what would have been the 54th house would have been built along Old Mason Road? Was that your intent?
Will be that lot number 1. because I
That
only
would,
have
that would be on lot number 1?
Right.
So you have been approved for 54 houses?
Right.
Have 53 in existence or in
I
the
have
process?
53, and now, because I didn't build on lot 1, I have, I didn't build the whole subdivision yet, so, but with lot 1, it's 54.
Again, if I may, going back to condition number 5, open space in lot number 1 are to be conveyed to the town of Dudley.
Exactly.
Exactly.
But that is under the open space subdivision.
you have, again, I'm going with what I see here, which is, again, Mr. Chairman, dated November 1st, 2006. If you have something that amends that, revises that, or overrides that, then I would ask that you should be presenting that to us at some point.
Yeah, because original, that Old Muslim Road, they designed a cul-de-sac there that's supposed to pick up, I don't know how many lots, but they probably didn't consider the wetlands. But I still have that plan that's supposed to be a cul-de-sac on that road.
Yep.
Does lot number 54 have adequate frontage on Noble Street?
Yeah, but it is enough frontage for 2 lots. But it's wetlands that I have to cross.
Right, I think we're getting ahead of ourselves a little bit because we were, to review the frontage is accepting, is getting past the item number 3, what we're talking about. So that's the
Number
first.
5.
Well, number 3 is the first one we have to deal with,
Okay.
is number of houses.
Number of
Because
54.
even if you're at 43 right now, or 53 right now, it seems to me there is the possibility to build one more house, but if the original plan, approved plan, doesn't show a house on this lot, I still think you'd have to go back and modify the subdivision plan then.
No,
That's
he
my
made it
understanding.
Wetlands, he made that wetlands word.
Well, the wetlands is Conservation Commission, but I would just say as far as accepting this plan.
That's why I
Right,
wasn't on
but as far as accepting this plan as an A&R plan, you know, for the first reason I can't is the number of houses. That you're showing 2, that's what we're discussing right now. If you were to come back with a house, with one house being shown there as an A&R, I have to talk, you have to have a meeting, but in my opinion, that we couldn't accept that because that's not part of the original plan. But I would have to talk to town council about that maybe, just to find out. And then, of course, the Conservation Commission would have to have a hearing on item number 5. And once we get past all that, then we can start talking about the road and the frontages.
Okay.
If we get past that.
Not trying to stand in anybody's way, just trying to make sure that
Right,
we're,
I understand.
you know.
You saying, please?
The original plan there?
This is the plan that is recorded.
Can I see it?
It's not necessarily the original from 2004, but it's the one from 2006 that was signed and recorded originally.
Okay, so that is in fact.
You have open page 9 where the conditions were.
So before I ask the board for a motion or anything, is there anything you want to add or say, or?
No, 'cause we'll have to review with council conditions number 3 and 5, because
Okay.
it does appear to be a little confliction between the 2 specifically.
Here.
Okay.
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman, does this change the status of this in terms of it's, as noted on the agenda as an A&R plan? It's.
Well, it was.
That's what's before us right now.
It was submitted as an A&R plan.
Right, but it sounds
we would-
like it
would
is
not-
morphed into something else at
Right,
this
so we would
point.
not accept it as an A&R plan.
Okay.
And then we'll come back to.
Do we need a motion to reject it as an A&R plan at this point, or does that
Don, we
suffice?
need to vote on the board, right?
You vote this.
Yeah, so yeah, I need a motion and a second, and any discussion?
If you want to turn it down, you want to ask the applicant if you can.
I would like
Well,
to,
Prefer to withdraw the application.
You want to withdraw? Okay.
okay. We need a motion to accept the withdrawal, or is that?
You have the record.
All right, I would like to move that we
Without-
accept the withdrawal of the A&R plan as presented by Dudley Road Charlton LLC.
All right, there's a motion and a second to accept the withdrawal of the plan without prejudice. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passed.
You write a note, is that correct?
Yes. We granted the extension, so we'll have to write notes for the withdrawal.
Who seconded?
Gentlemen here.
Okay, thank you.
I'm knocking you out, Billy?
Nope. This is the,
There has to be some.
this is like drain. This is the lot one on.
You'll sign, Mr. Chair.
Pardon me?
Are you all set, Mr. Chair?
I think we're,
Yeah, thank you for delaying.
Oh, there's no problem. Thanks for your patience with this. Appreciate it,
All
Tony,
right,
okay?
Let's see.
So you guys want to give the room a couple minutes to clear, then we'll try to adjourn, or?
Could you sign it, please? You're the only person that spoke, actually.
Sorry?
The only person that spoke, actually. Can you sign it, please?
Yes, I can.
I think he was saying here, he was saying when it was a wetland.
Go across the wetlands.
Try to get me reeled in here.
Oh, which is, there's historic issues with regards to that.
How about if we get back to order here a little bit, we'll try to adjourn? Control chaos.
Yeah.
So if it's the board's pleasure, I'll accept the motion to adjourn.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you guys.
That always carries.
Gentlemen, thank you for your time.